The news is out. Figma is changing. As you might have seen this already. It's all over the internet. Some people are calling it a disaster, while others say it's the darkest day in design. Within minutes of the announcement, social media platforms were flooded with posts about Adobe's $20 billion acquisition of Figma. And soon the memes started pouring in. Hi, my name is Rohan and welcome to another video of Design Sundays. In this video, we're going to talk about Adobe's acquisition of Figma for $20 billion. Dylan Field and Evan Wallace, the creators of Figma, they started the company back in 2013. And this creation happened out of frustration with Adobe's then current business practices. And now, 9 years later, they have just sold the company to none other than Adobe. Is everything turning Adobe red, just like my t-shirt? On the surface, it might seem like a surprising move. But when you think about it, it makes perfect sense for Adobe. Adobe probably realized that they missed the boat when it comes to XD. And rather than trying to play catch, they decided to just acquire Figma outright. Figma has long been hailed pioneer of design tools built for the web. Before Figma, designers had to rely heavily on crash-prone softwares that made it hard for newcomers to join the industry. Figma changed all that by combining powerful features and multiplayer functionality, making it faster and easier for teams to collaborate on designs. I still remember having to work on a file, then save it, download it, and share it with others for them to make changes in it. And then if I want to make changes, I have to wait for the file to come back. And their commitment to supporting the design community sets them apart from the competition. Dylan Field, CEO of Figma, said 3 things in his announcement note. Number 1. By partnering with Adobe, they will be able to bring Adobe's imaging, photography, illustration, video, 3D, font technology expertise to Figma platform, which is something Adobe is really good at. Number 2. Figma will continue to operate autonomously and he will remain the CEO. Number 3. The pricing plans will stay the same and all of Figma will remain free for education. Although the pricing might not change right now, but it might change in the coming quarters or months or years to come. To understand the situation better, we have to go back where it all started. Figma was valued at $10 billion when they raised the last round a year back. And now they are being acquired at 2x their valuation. The acquisition is not happening solely based on the numbers, but looking at the potential Figma still has. The story started when Evan Wallace first dreamt of building a tool to design which could work on browsers and you don't have to download very heavy softwares which keeps crashing. Back in 2011, Adobe was the biggest player in the market of design tools and they had a massive collection of tools for all kinds of designers and creative artists. And all these tools needed a software to install on your machine. That too very bulky softwares. And most devices were not able to support those softwares as well. For example, Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere Pro, InDesign, etc. There was a major problem with the old ways of doing things. It was incredibly difficult to work together on projects unless you were in the same room using the same machine. This was a huge pain point for everyone involved in the design process. The founders of Figma set out to build a browser-based design tool that would solve this problem and make it easy for people to work together on projects, no matter where they were located in the world. They used their knowledge to create a tool that would change the way people design, and that too for better. Figma is now a widely used design tool that allows people to collaborate on projects from anywhere in the world. The biggest reason? Figma's browser-based technology platform made it easy for anyone to use it without needing to install a heavy software, and there is no cap of the premium features that these people can use that made it super easy to use the product. And it was free to begin with. And eventually some of the world's biggest companies like Google, Microsoft, Uber, Netflix, Airbnb started to adopt Figma as their go-to collaboration tool. Eventually, Figma rolled out paid plans which were designed for companies and enterprises with features like multi-people collaboration, team libraries, custom permission, multiple projects under teams, etc. As of their last report, Figma has generated over $150 million in recurring revenue with incredible retention. While Adobe tried to win the market with Adobe XD, Figma's adoption had taken over the world. Pause the video right now and tell us what changes do you see Figma making in the coming future. Here are the 3 potential changes we see Figma making really soon. Number 1. Figma could start charging for all free accounts. As Adobe's largest acquisition to date, there's a strong possibility that they will revise the pricing plan for Figma in order to make more money out of the tool. This would be devastating for students and small companies who rely on Figma to learn and create their designs. However, the massive investment made by Adobe could mean good things for Figma's future innovations. They could invest more into developing features that could be helpful for the customers. They could grow 3-4x more than they are growing currently. They can also invest back in the community. Number 2, Figma could adopt Adobe's pricing model or the cancellation practices. Adobe is known for its exorbitant pricing and worse practices for cancellation, something that Figma might adopt in the future. Since Adobe sells all its software through Creative Cloud, Figma might be joining the gang soon and can be used to promote other products like Photoshop, Illustrator to just make the ecosystem more guarded. This might mean ridiculous fee for cancelling something you can no longer afford or you no longer want. Number 3, Figma's UI could become more like Adobe products. Figma has adopted a clean UI which helps designers focus on their designs. But Adobe has always focused on bringing a lot of tools, options, power features for their users. And since they might be reducing the focus on XD, this could change in the future. With Figma becoming more like Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, well, who knows, they might make Adobe XD free for all the users and Figma becomes the premium offering for all the corporates, giants. We won't know these things for sure unless Figma and Adobe decides to do so. These things only time will tell. But this is for sure, all the designers are looking at Figma with hope. From all the designers in the world, I just want to say, you had a great run, Figma. Do give us a fat thumbs up below if you liked the video. If it was helpful, do subscribe to the channel. And on that note, we'll be back next time. Till then, happy designing.